Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Radha, Jaya Nitrai Patita Pavana Gaura Hari, Jaya Nitrai Patita Pavana Gaura Hari, Jaya Nitrai Patita Pavana Gaura, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parigara Kashtotra Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Nanda Kodesh Naranda ki all Lord Jasanmuli Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayat Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 29, text number 17. Mahatam Bahumanena Deenanam Anukampaya Maitreya Chaivatma Tulyeshu Maitra Chaivatma Tulyeshu Yamena Niyamena Cha Mahatam Bahumanena Deenanam Anukampaya Maitreya Chaivatma Tulyeshu Yamena Niyamena Cha. Mahatam Bahumanena Deenanam Anukampaya Maitreya Chaivatma Tulyeshu Yamena Niyamena Cha. Translation and purport by Sri Bhaktivedanta Sri Prabhupada, Jai Sri Prabhupada ki jai. The pure devotees should execute the devotional service by giving the greatest respect to the spiritual master and the Acharyas. He should be compassionate to the poor and make friendship with the persons who are his equals. But his activities should be executed under the regulation and with control of senses. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 13th chapter, it is clearly stated that one should execute devotional service and advance on the path of spiritual knowledge by accepting the Acharya. Acharya Upasanam. One should worship an Acharya or a spiritual master who knows the things as they are. The spiritual master must be in disciplic succession from Krishna. The predecessors of spiritual master are his spiritual master, his grand spiritual master, his grand spiritual master, and so on, who from the disciplic succession of Acharya, and so on, who form the disciplic succession of the Acharya. Okay. It is recommended herein with all the Acharyas be given the highest respect. It is stated Guru Naramatihi. Guru means unto the Acharyas. Naramatihi Mati means thinking like the common man. To think Vaishnavas, the devotees, belongs to a particular caste or community, to think an Acharya as an ordinary man, or to think the deity of in the temple being made of stone, wood, or metal is condemned. Niyamena, one should offer the greatest respect to the Acharyas according to the standard regulations. A devotee should be compassionate to the poor. This does not refer to those who are poverty-stricken materially. According to the devotional vision, a man is poor if he is not in Krishna consciousness. A man may be very rich materially, but if he is not Krishna conscious, he is considered poor. On the other hand, many acharyas such as Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami used to live beneath the trees every night. Superficially, it appeared that they were poverty-stricken, but from the writings, we can understand that in spiritual life, they were the richest personalities. A devotee shows compassion to the poor souls who are wanting in the spiritual knowledge by enlightening them in order to elevate them to Krishna consciousness. This is one of the duties of a devotee. He should also make friendship with those persons who are on an equal level with himself or who have the same understanding that he does. For a devotee, there is no point in making friendship with an ordinary person. He should make friendship with the other devotees so that by discussing among themselves, they may elevate one another on the path of spiritual understanding. This is called Ishtagoshti. In Bhagavad Gita, there is a reference to Bodhiyantah Parasparam, discussing among themselves. Generally, pure devotees utilize their valuable time in chanting and discussing the various activities of the Lord Krishna or Lord Chaitanya among themselves. There are innumerable books such as Puranas, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, which contain countless subjects for discussion among two devotees or more. Friendship should be cemented between the persons with mutual interest and understanding. Such persons are said to be Swajati or the same caste. The devotee should avoid a person whose character is fixed in the standard understanding. Even though he may be a Vaishnava or a devotee of Krishna, if his character is not correctly representative, then he should be avoided. One should steadily control the senses and the mind and steadily follow the rules and regulations, and he should make friendship with the persons of the same standard. Om Ajnanathmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapalakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sakrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Sri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Bandham Rangaya Te Girim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Sri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madham Sri Chaitanyeshwaram. Hare Krishna. So thank you for joining. So this verse actually speaks about the qualities the pure devotee should execute devotion service by giving greatest respect to the spiritual master and the acharyas. So we discuss line by line. So here Kapil Dev is stressing the importance of anybody whoever is on the path of spiritual progress, or whoever is in the path of devotion or any process of yoga, they should have a high level of respect toward the spiritual master. One make great progress in actually just by respecting the spiritual master, just by following the instructions and by serving and by pleasing him. Yasya prasadat Bhagavat prasada. Yasya prasada nagati kutopi means just by the mercy of spiritual master is mercy of Krishna himself. And if the spiritual master is one and the only link for us to Krishna, one and only path, one and only way, we can get connected to Krishna. There is no other way. So that is what's stressed here. So if one pleases spiritual master, is directly pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. It is said that by Krishna's when he becomes utmostly compassionate upon us, upon the conditioned souls, he manifests himself as a spiritual master. He comes into our life as a spiritual master. It means that when a spiritual master comes into your life, means that Krishna is pleased with that. Krishna wants to come back to him or take up to his service. So all the Vedic scriptures stresses the importance of spiritual master. And like especially in ISKCON, we have the system of hierarchy, like spiritual master is there. Following the spiritual master, the next comes to the level of Shiksha Gurus, different levels of Shiksha Gurus. And then following after that Shiksha Gurus comes the authorities of the different temples. And then like the authorities of temple also represent the spiritual masters himself. And following the authority spiritual master, then comes all the acharyas, all the devotees also. So like it is said that like Krishna himself says in Srimad Bhagavatam, like how a person should respect spiritual master. Like for acquiring knowledge, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadeshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. So a bona fide spiritual master is a tattvadarshi, because he has already seen the validity. He already seen how the process works. So that's why he gives the message from the Vedic literature as it is. He doesn't deviate even a bit from that path. Even in details, the way he present might be different, but the essence will be retained. So one should approach spiritual master in the mood of surrender. Pranipat, first of all, as soon as we go to spiritual master, we have to do pranipat, means we have to surrender, saying that I don't know anything. Whatever you say is the hope and light in my life. And pariprashna. But if you are not able, like if some spiritual master says something, and we are not able to, like because of our conditioning, we are not able to have the mood or have the same understanding as a level of spiritual master, we should humbly inquire from him what he actually means, to get the clarity, so that to get proper understanding and to serve him better. And that way, that is the real that is the actual path of actual process of attaining jnana or knowledge from the spiritual master. So knowledge makes all the difference. What does, like, how we serve, how you engage, how you utilize every aspect of your life in a progressive spiritual for our spiritual progress is depend on how much knowledge you have to utilize it. Like if you give like $100 currency note to a child or an infant, he treats it like a toy and he keeps in a mouth. He destroys it. But a person can achieve many things, buy many things, like whatever he decides with the same amount. Means, like if you give some rare diamond to somebody who doesn't have the knowledge, then he might use it as a doorstopper or something like that. But if he knows the value, what he's getting, what can be what can be brought with the value of the diamond, then he will save it in the most safest place. In the same way, the knowledge, the spiritual life or the spiritual path that we are getting is the rarest of the rare. Means it's the most valuable. There is nothing more valuable than all the metal creation. It is not. It is more valuable than entire metal universe, because metal world might be valuable or invaluable. That is a different thing. But for us, for a spirit soul, what is most valuable is to get out of this metal world and then go back to spiritual world. So this knowledge, which is given by a spiritual master, which is obtained by serving spiritual master, has such a potency to directly send us or directly bring us to the spiritual platform and help us attaining the success of our life of self-realization, to know who we really are, and for us to endeavor to go back home, back to Godhead. So, and one should not develop any kind of familiarity with spiritual master or his representatives. That's why Krishna says, like, even the like in Uddhava, when he is instructing with last instructions of Krishna to Uddhava, he says how a brahmachari or a serious devotee should deal with spiritual master. He says, Acharya mam vijaniya navamanyeta karhichit namartha buddhaya suyeta sarva deva mayo guru. So, the translation says, one should know Acharya as myself and never disrespect him in any way. Disrespecting the spiritual master means you are destroying your spiritual life altogether. And one should never envy him and thinking him as ordinary man. So here, like for one to progress nicely in spiritual life, one should have this understanding that spiritual master is as a representative or directly Krishna himself. Krishna himself is saying, one should know Acharya as myself. Respect spiritual master as Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. There is no other greatest person for you to respect or to take seriously other than the spiritual master. So all our activities, all our endeavors, all our actions, even the material and spiritual aspect, should be directed as per the instructions of the spiritual master. That is the only way one can progress in the spiritual life. And one should not envy him in any way. Of course, no, we are all conditioned, so this aspect of envy automatically creeps into our activities, like in our day-to-day dealings. It may not be directed to a spiritual master, but envy towards any devotee also will hamper our spiritual life. So one should actually treat spiritual master as Krishna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, and one should treat the representatives of spiritual master, Shiksha Gurus or temple authorities, are as good as spiritual master. So it's like now A equal to B equal to C. So A equal to C. So that's why Prabhupada says everybody, you should call everybody as Prabhu and Mataji. Means they are on the level of Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So, but no, one should be careful enough, like with whom you are associating with. Like when you come to the original words, it says, right? He should be compassionate to the poor and make friendship with the persons who are equal. And excuse me. But all his activities should be executed under regulation with control of senses. So one should know, like, what is the level of advancement of the person that we are actually associating with. So based on that, we definitely we should respect all of them as good as as the greatest, like the highest respect that we can give to them. But so sometimes some due to maybe some conditioning or due to some their different aspect of their life, they may not be able to influence us in a most favorable way for our spiritual progress. Like somebody might not be regularly coming to temple, or not doing quality chanting, or not some that so like if we see any devotee, we should see what is the greatest thing that I can learn from him, but not all these pitfalls, all the any defects. There are no defects for in a Vaishnava, but superficially they may appear. We should always hanker what is the best thing, what is this devotee all is about. As soon as you see a devotee, all his glorious qualities should manifest in our mind. You shouldn't, like, even if he has so many abominable things, so much of bad qualities or some defects, not even like it should be considered like, it's like spots on the moon. They should be disregarded as the spots on the moon. They should not be taken seriously. So, but as soon as we see any devotee, all his glorious qualities, all his the way, if you don't see any glorious qualities, he actually came to temple. He came to the surrender to Krishna or Guru after many lifetimes. That one aspect is enough to counteract any number of bad qualities. So when we have that kind of attitude towards different devotees, and when we take proper association, which will nourish us in our spiritual life, it is then that kind of person will easily get out of his conditioning and make a greater progress. So if you come to the purport, Prabhupada also stresses on what is real wealth. Prabhupada is Prabhupada stresses that one might have the wealth, mental wealth so much, but if he is not spiritually if it is not spiritual, if it is not connected to Krishna consciousness, if it is not in the service of Krishna, then he is considered as the poorest of the person. Why? Because any kind of wealth will, if it is not engaged in Krishna consciousness, it will only give temporary benefits. Like for example, you may say one may eat chapanbog or some very elaborate feast or drinks or anything, something like that. So, but the next day he'll feel hungry again. He's as good as he has not eaten anything. So, eating one day very opulently doesn't compensate the starving of next coming days. So, in the same way, all these material opulences, immense amount of material wealth, name, fame, beauty, scholarship, all these things are as good as like passing clouds, unless they are utilized in the service of Krishna. So, like I heard recently from Yugol Prabhu that one time Krishna was laughing, seeing an ant. And then I think Rukmini Devi or somebody, Lakshmi Devi asked, why are you laughing? Then he showed the ant and says, see this ant, he was Indra for three lifetimes. Indra means he has the entire of our material appliances of entire world. He is the in charge of demigods. There is nothing he cannot have. He was Indra for 3 lifetimes. Now he became ant due to his bad karma. Now he is looking for a grain of sugar. So how unfortunate that person is. Means so all these material appliances. So we may right now have some kind of material appliances, name, fame, or scholarship, all those things. If we don't properly utilize them in Krishna service, or if you don't properly utilize them in our devotional service, they'll be lost. They don't add up any value to our eternal life. So that's why we should know very carefully how to utilize everything in Krishna service. That way, it will add to our actual value to our life. Otherwise, it is like you ate something like yesterday, nice sweets, but it doesn't mean that you don't feel hungry tomorrow next day. In the same way, in this life, you might have all these material appliances, all these facilities, and all those things. But there are even in this lifetime also, you may become, you may lose the wealth, or in the next life, it is not guaranteed that you will have all this wealth or facilities. And so that's why engage everything in the service of Guru and Krishna and the Vaishnavas, and dovetail all the propensities in their service. That is the ultimate success of life. For that to happen, we should always be in the proper association. That's why in the later section, proper rights, right? One should always have a good friendship with the equals. Who are equals? Equals are like are those who are when you come to the Vaishnava circles, equals are those who who are not on the level of our Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru, are not a senior devotee, something like that. We should have Rupa Goswami gives, right? Like one should have 20% association with the superiors, just to take the instruction, take the guidance from them, or about how to engage, how to serve, like that. And one should give 20% of association to the subordinates, means the senior, junior subordinates or devotees who recently came to Krishna conscious. But our main association, 60% of our association should be with the equals. Equals are those with whom we can share, we can discuss about Krishna Katha, or so who has the authority to correct us, who can give us suggestions, or the equals actually contributes for when we have more devotees on our equal level, then we can release our Krishna conscious life much better than doing it all alone. For example, when you want to read Srimad Bhagavatam, if you read along with another devotee or few devotees, you will release Srimad Bhagavatam, you will share their relations or more discussion. So if we discuss something, if we go deeper into it, and we can apply it into our day-to-day life. So that's why Srila Prabhupada has kindly designed all these morning programs. You first come together in the Mangala Aarti and dance, chant, And then after morning program is done, like at the end, you have to sit and discuss about Srimad Bhagavatam. And in the evening, can discuss Bhagavad Gita. Like that, he nicely designed for us, for every one of us, so that we can nicely progress in our spiritual life without any much endeavor. Like when we do our devotional service in the association of bhakti, or see, when one person sitting and chanting, or different, like 10 15 devotees sitting and chanting, makes a great difference. We don't feel like we are doing something great, or so we are like, we don't feel boredom, or we don't feel the tiredness, because looking at each other we feel enthusiastic. So that is the importance of taking the association of equals. So and then compassion to the poor and make friendship with the, okay. And all activities should be executed under regulations without the control, with control of senses. Here, with respect to, like in Krishna consciousness, we actually are given to like follow the regulative principles. The regulative principles of what are the four main regulative principles are: no meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. So those are the, in the grossest way, those are the regulatory principles. But as we advance, we have to expand the horizon of regulatory principles. That's what Govind Prabhu says, right? Like if when we expand, like being non-envious to the devotees, that is equivalent to non-violence, okay? And being soft-spoken. As we advance, we should actually become more and more refined in our dealings, and apply all these regulatory principles. Take all these regulatory principles to the subtler and subtler ways. So because everything starts from the subtle form. So like no meat eating is, for example, no meat eating is the grossest violence. Means by avoiding the meat eating, you are actually not doing any violence to the other living entities. Because if somebody wants to eat an animal, he has to kill the animal, or he has to act, directly or indirectly contributing to the killing of that animal. That is the gross violence, okay? And subtler violence than that is not purchasing any animal products, which actually involves killing of animals. And subtler than that is not being harsh to even any other animals, not being and any other persons also, like anger and dealing harshly, physically, mentally, like that. And then physical and verbally. And subtler than that is not being harsh to mentally also. Don't think ill about others. Don't hear any rumors, any gossips about others. That is more subtler. Still more subtler than is don't think anything ill about others. As soon as we see any defect, or we see any shortcoming in any devotee, we should immediately force our mind to think the glorious qualities they have, the greatest, what are the greatest qualities they have. And unless it is our duty to deal with them, because for example, some devotee might have some shortcomings, or somebody might knowingly or unknowingly becoming some giving trouble to someone. Unless it is you are the concerned authority, you should not act on them. The only duty that we have is just take it in a very respectable way to the concerned authorities, not in a grudging way also, and then try to address it in a proper channel. So that way, just by extending this the process of non-violence on the different subtle levels, one can actually refine these Vaishnava dealings. You can take all these things, no meat eating, no gambling also, and no intoxication, no illicit sex. No illicit sex also means first with respect to gross, and then that subtle is not even talk to them, not even talk unnecessarily. And subtler means no thoughts, no like that. So we can actually extend these regulatory principles the more we become take them to the higher and higher levels, the more we advance, the more refined we become in our day-to-day dealings with the Vaishnavas and other devotees. So that is all I can think of. Like now, it is about the Acharyas. Acharyas is the highest person, and then next come to the readings the equals, and then next to that is dealing with not dealing with our refining our own dealings, by refining the regulator principles. Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments? You can discuss now. Please. Hare Krishna, online, anybody have any questions or comments?
Prabhuji, thank you so much. It was such a, I would say, such an inspiring and such a beautiful class today. I'm very, very grateful to you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. we'll end it here. Gandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Apal ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.